God bless and great day, everyone. Thank you, Father God. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for another blessed day. And it is KingT420SCC here, back with another great reaction video. So this video is another point of view video. Y'all know I've been doing point of view videos. So I'm going to really let it speak for itself. Let's get it.
So I was talking to a male friend of mine the other day, and he told me that women don't apologize and women can't be held accountable. And I began to really think deeply about this idea. And one of the things that came across my mind is, in the last 9 months or so of me being in my private practice, I have myself experienced many women, whether they came in as a couple or they came by themselves, they very abruptly discontinued their therapy.
Really?
And I started to reflect and really think, what was going on here?
What was happening?
I noticed that after I had to confront them about something, I had to bring to their attention something they were doing that wasn't contributing to the health of the relationship, they became very defensive and very, just very harsh, and they stopped coming. And even though the husband would continue to come, he made it very clear that, yeah, she won't apologize. She thinks you're wrong. She thinks you're taking my side. And I began to really reflect, like, oh my gosh, is it true that women don't apologize? Is it that women struggle with being held accountable? I'd love your thoughts on this. Me personally, I think it has to do with a person's level of emotional maturity. What do you think?
So, we all know, I hate to say it like this, but y'all young ladies find every form, shape, and fashion of why it's the man's fault or why it's someone else's fault. You gotta take accountability, but we're gonna move right along.
Why I'm leaving this side of it, because of expectations are so unrealistic. Because you can't have expectations like that and no preparation. You don't even study, like, how do you want a man and you don't study even how to talk to a man? You don't even study, how men process. You don't even study
so much ego and pride. There's nothing, it's just they demand these traditional, like I said, traditional men, but they want to be modern and wonder why they're not attracting certain men. They're barely...
You women don't have any problems expressing yourself when it's something negative to a male. But let a woman come up here and we have to have a real talk moment. All of a sudden, I don't like this show because I feel low. You don't like the show because your ass don't want to take direct criticism. And you know what? That's why your ass is going to be watching me as long as I do the show. And you ain't going to get a man. Because
last year and the beginning of this year, I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally was I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females. And I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women. And listen, it was such a valuable lesson because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be.
That makes sense.
But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic
for
who men are, how they think, what they value. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality, okay? So literally, the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives is understanding, one, that men are not women. He's not going to be your best friend like your best girlfriend. You can't talk to him like that. They don't talk like that. They don't talk that much. They're not so sensitive and girly the way we...
Okay, ladies. We hearing it. from other women, I think y'all should, just take an earful, that's all. Moving right along.
Women who are over 50 years old who have been reaching out to me for wife coaching tips, I'm no longer taking them. Don't pay the money through my website because I'm just going to refund it to you. I've had a couple of experiences this week, and here's why. Most of you, not all, but 99% of the women who are 53 and older, specifically 53, 55, 57, 59, 61, 64, in those age brackets, have been the most challenging for me to coach because the standards are unrealistically high. I get that you're old school and I get that your mom raised you to only interact with gentlemen, but most of the men who do all of the stuff that you're wanting are dead, or they're not looking for 55 or 57-year-old women. There are some younger men who do that. You don't want an old man because he can't perform in bed. Well, the younger men don't want an older woman because some of you have arthritis, some of you have missing teeth, you have gray hair, you have grandkids. Like, you got to be realistic and balanced in your thinking. So, listen.
Oh, wow.
The other thing is, these social media dating sites or whatever you call these things, I've seen modernized male whores in those sites. Meeting strange men, having sex with them. You don't know them. And I'm talking about women of God.
Oh,
You've got to make some
Christ.
shifts and some changes in how you think and how you process if you want to be married. Now, if you just want to be somebody's jump off, and you just want to be somebody's cougar, or somebody's...
Wow. Wow, gang. Wow. All right, moving right along.
I heard about this relationship coach that quit due to all of these unrealistic demands that many women have brought to her. And the reason why she quit was because there was no way she could make any of these women happy. Now, mind you, I've said this in the past. There is no way you could demand so many things from a man that you are not even demanding for yourself. You do understand that the reflection of who you are, is what you are going to attract. You get that, right? No? Let me break it down to you. You should not be asking from any man, as a woman, all of these things that you don't have yourself, including the job, including the salary, including clothing, designer clothing, including the car that he drives, including the house that he has, where he lives, how he lives. The list goes on. Ladies, please, I am telling you this right off the rip. I know that there are some men out there that all they want to do is be the man with the money. You know why they say this? Because majority of you women, that's all you are looking for is for the man with the money.
Ding, 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 ding,
all they
ding.
are focused on is getting to the bag. What happened to relationships where you got with someone because you actually like them for who they are? And yeah, you need that security, no problem. But make sure you're secure yourself. Make sure that you have the house, that you have the car, you have the bank account. So if anything was to ever go left, you can take care of that man. Because it takes two, not just one. It takes two.
You tell him, sister.
Really self-reflect and look at all of the reasons why you truly want to be in a relationship today, right now, if that is something that you want to do. That is all I'm saying. So you could demand all of these things from these men, but imagine if these men were demanding all of these things from you. Really think about that and be mature about it.
I mean, I don't find nothing wrong with what she was telling y'all. And mind y'all, I did this video. I'm not sure if we have any men in these videos, so we're gonna go moving right along and see. But the majority of these videos are ladies. So let's just keep up.
Stop coaching women, just women. I love this. I'm woman empowerment or whatever. Stop. Because I used to do self-love journey. I wrote a book, a journal, and all of that because I know what it takes. You know, that's what I did. So, but what I was running into, the women, like, you know, want your services, I want you to coach me. But as soon as I tell them what they need to do, all they heard was going back to their comprehension was, oh, this is my fault? Like, no, sis, it's not your fault. But we got to take accountability for things. I can't tell you how to get a man, but I can tell you that you need to work on X, Y, and Z. The accountability piece is what causes us not to heal properly.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, again, that's another lady talking to you ladies about accountability. Moving right along.
Y'all, please help me to understand why attention is the new currency for women.
Okay.
So regardless of whether you have a man at home, whether you have a family at home, whether you have the job of your dreams, the house of your dreams, the car of your dreams, apparently none of that compares to you posting on Instagram or Facebook, twerking, dancing on tables, drinking, getting liquor porn into your open mouth,
oh wow,
taking pictures with your tongue out, going around half dressed. Like, help me to make it make sense. Since when did attention trump self-respect?
Okay.
Since when does getting attention from strangers trump the love and the respect and the honor of being
she got a good point.
Man?
I agree. I didn't know where she was going with that. I was kind of confused for a minute. And then she kind of pulled it all together for me. So I'm like, that makes sense. Like, because I'm like, I thought you knew all women loved attention. That's all they want. Oh, okay, I had to understand. She's saying y'all making it trump respect. So y'all rather get the likes and the views over the respect. Anyway, I was just, that's what I took from it. I don't know what y'all took from it, but moving right along.
We're intentional, but we don't have realistic expectations. And I was recently at an event where one of the people actually spoke on that, and he was like, raise your hand if you want somebody who's ambitious. Everyone raised their hand. And he said, raise your hand if you want somebody that's selfless. He raised their hand. He was like, 9 times out of 10, somebody who is ambitious is not going to be selfless. That's somebody who's going to have a hustle and all the other stuff. He said, so you want somebody who's ambitious, but they're going to be selfish with their time. And you have this ambitious man, but then you're going to be praying for somebody who has more time to give you. He said, the person who is selfless is going to most likely be the person who is laid back, who's going to give you your time. So you have to make sure that when you are out there dating, that you have to really uncover like what you truly want and what it actually means. You might say, I want a provider, but what you actually want is somebody who's going to take care of you. Just because somebody has money and can provide does not mean he's going to take care of you. Right.
Amen. Okay, so hope you ladies paying attention. These are so far it's been all women, excuse me. Well, yeah, so far it's been all women. We're gonna move right along.
Women are wanting something that don't come in hiding. So you don't have a ton of guys with emotional intelligence. That's why it's amazing when you meet someone. Or if a guy is really financially successful, he is well-built, he's well-versed, he has swag, those guys tend to have the pick of the litter. And a lot of women don't want to see it that way, that, you know, they have choices. So they're not going for what a man might consider an 8 or a 7 or a 6. But there's a lot of delusion when it comes to women. And, you know, I like to call myself the auntie. You know, I'm going to tell you like it is, but I'm going to do it with love. The reality is a lot of women don't understand their market value. And so when I say that, it's like if you are, you know, selling something in a garage sale, you probably see those people who are really attached to something. It could be a blanket their granny gave. No one's paying $50 for that. Like, it has sentimental value to you. But to the average person, it looks like a piece of crap, but they wouldn't even pay anything for it. They throw it in the trash. Take me, for example. I'm not in the same shape I was in my 20s when I got married. I have more quote-unquote baggage than I did. I was single. I was a virgin. I didn't have a lot of relationship history. Now I have 2 kids. I'm divorced. So I have to be realistic and say, I'm not competing with a 20-something, you know, it's one thing to be like, yes, we're all fabulous. We are. but there's still the reality level of it. Just like a guy, you know, if he's only 5'7", he's not getting the same options as a man who's 6'3" and built. You know, it's we live in a real world.
Okay. You gotta weigh your options and be real with what you're talking about. And know your sexual marketplace value. That would be a very great thing. Moving right along.
I wish women didn't have unrealistic expectations in terms of expecting men to behave like women. A lot of male behavior is perceived and interpreted as if we were women. So their automatic interpretation or perception of what a man does is, if that were me, that would have been the reason I did it. So that has to be the reason he did it. And I just think that women need to be more understanding about men have different value systems. So a lot of the times, if you perceive something that he does to have ill will or be bad faith or be spiteful, it's not necessarily that. Especially like truth telling or being honest. Like, women believe they're the arbiters of morality in a lot of ways, and they're quick to say that makes you a bad person if you do something they dislike or they disagree with. Whereas men, we're just a lot more straightforward. We're a lot more objective and logical. So a lot of times when we say things, it can come off as abrasive or insensitive, but we don't see it that way. We just see that there's value in the truth being told as it is, whereas women don't necessarily take it that way. And that creates a lot of conflict in relationships.
That's all true. Everything he just said is true. Most of the time that y'all get upset about something that we said, we definitely don't mean it the way that you took it. And if you ask for a better clarification, we'll probably give it to you and won't even have a problem doing so. Moving right along.
Women refuse to accept accountability and would rather cry, walk away, walk out the room, block his number, whatever, because we rather do that than take accountability. Right. This is the part men don't understand. Attention is attention. Attention is attention. So whether it's good attention, whether it's bad attention, as long as we are the center of it, it doesn't really matter. All of that emotional spiraling is because it gets us attention.
Dig that there. So attention is attention, no matter what kind of attention it is, as long as you getting the attention. That ain't good, ladies. Accountability. Look, another lady talking to the women about accountability. Y'all got to keep up with me now.
I honestly feel bad for the men of this generation. The younger guys, like in their early 20s, in their early 30s or whatever, and say they don't have a very prominent career, such as like in finance, because I used to work in finance, so I know how much finance men really make. In investment finance, that's what I'm talking about, okay? That's where I used to work. I know those men make upwards of $200 and something plus $1,000 a year, okay? Not every man will make that amount of money. And if there is men that make that kind of money, it's very limited, okay? So I think it's so crazy that these young ladies of this generation is expected for a man to make $300,000 plus in a major city. You get what I'm saying? To take care of a family and all that. Not every man is going to make that amount of money. A man nowadays barely making $45,000, especially if he's black. I really think women are asking for a little bit too much for men. And y'all gonna be mad, but I really don't care because y'all need to hear the truth. Sometimes I honestly don't blame our men for going out and dating other races of women. Because let me tell you something. I grew up around those different women who
don't be mad at her.
From very rich families, extremely wealthy. I'm talking filthy rich, probably richer than what you probably think. My parents had me surrounded around those kids, had me surrounded by those. Y'all don't even get it. Y'all think finding a man that rich, that has a legit career, legit, in STEM or something like that, where he's making over 150 grand, okay? Y'all really think that's an easily accessible man? No, they're not. If you didn't grow up doing horseback riding classes, if you didn't grow up doing cooking classes, my mother had me in cooking classes with all the little white kids, all of them growing up, because their parents taught them that. Y'all are missing that when you are born to be, honestly, a housewife and to live that lifestyle, you have to grow up seeing those things. It's just not going to come to you without you seeing those things. Now, granted, there are some women that just, look up on a really high-value, rich man, and, that's just not his money and things like that. It's a bunch of other components that go into it. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I honestly feel so bad for these guys, especially our men. Other men, you know, I have friends of all races. Other men, they can make them a smooth $50K, $55,000, and their white wife will be so happy.
Every other
because
race.
She's like, well, I'm working too, and you know, she takes so much pride into her man, and I feel like with black men sometimes. With this generation of girls, like the girl that got mad with the $30 for lunch, my man sent me money that same day. That same amount. And I went to Kava, and I ate there for lunch, and I ate it for dinner, because I don't eat that much no way. Okay? It's just like, y'all are expecting men to make more than what they actually will make in the black community, if we're going to be real. If he's not in the top profession, he ain't making a lot of money. People just need to find somebody that they love and forget what people tell you and just find who you love and be happy with that person. Stop trying to be like somebody else. Stop trying to live the life that you see on social media, because sometimes that ain't even realistic. Okay? I think y'all just need to give the person that's in your lane a shot, because sometimes people try to go outside their lane, and I'm gonna be real with you. That ain't gonna work. You need to stay within your lane and stay within the men that you can date. But I don't know, I just thought about that, and I'll never treat my boyfriend like that. I just,
Okay. These ladies is coming for y'all. I don't know what you women did, but I did tell y'all in game time that they was about to start coming for y'all, so y'all better keep up. Moving right along.
If you are straight, if you have a husband that's moody and a bit ratty and all of these things, and you've tried everything, you tried like being nice to him and it's not working, have a look at the physical intimacy. If that's even remotely missing, it's like they can't activate the happy switch until that's been activated, unfortunately. So, and I think women really underestimate it, myself included, until I've been working with men. It is the most important form of appreciation in their world, like of course with everything else, but they need it's a way of feeling all types of intimacy, physical, emotional, everything comes from that. So it is really important, plus the verbal affirmations and all those other things, but that's a really important element of it, and it is a guard for infidelity as well.
Moving right along, what she basically just told y'all is, if y'all want y'all men to spend more time with y'all, to give y'all more attention, buy y'all more things and do more things for y'all and not cheat, y'all should be more intimate with him, sexually especially. Moving right along.
Women to find rich men to marry them. Because rich men, whether they're black, white, Asian, Latino, whatever, rich men like certain types of women. Okay? And if you don't fit into that category, they're not going to want to marry you. Now, the trick is to get into the category. Get into the category. Look at all the rich men and look at their wives.
Okay.
What do they all have in common? Besides, you know, being pretty. What else do they have in common?
She might be giving y'all the blueprint.
But we work at the same place. Don't date where you work unless you're dating a boss and you plan to quit and have him support you. And then, okay, first and foremost, Melania Trump did not come from wealth. So that has nothing to do with it. Not coming from, they're classy, yes.
Okay.
What else?
They're classy.
They're not loud and obnoxious.
They definitely not that.
They keep it. They shut it up. They don't outshine their husband.
Never.
That's for damn sure. They don't outshine.
Nope.
And even Michelle Obama had to hold back. She had to keep it together because she was like, okay, I'm in the public eye. I can't really. There was a few times she slipped up and looked at him crazy. But you gotta keep it together in public, especially.
This lady knows something too, y'all. She knows something too. Okay, going forward.
Who created unrealistic dating expectations we have today? Where did it come from?
Women. I mean, let's not pretend. I mean, what happens is women will go through trauma, make poor decisions, and what they do instead of changing and growing, they will say, well, I have to level up. And I have to
they add more standards to what the men that they choose. Instead of saying something's wrong with me, I need to take accountability and the choices that I've made, they will turn around and say, no, the men need to jump through higher hoops. Now, I come now with more trauma, baggage, probably kids, and everything else, but these men still, I'm now, as I age, I'm getting better like fine wine. I'm getting better like wine. And so they think that they keep raising these standards. Other question.
Wow. Okay. So, we are seeing the videos. Basically what it boils down to, what I gathered from the videos is a lot of women are not taking accountability these days. They're not showing their gratitude and appreciation to their men and their husbands. And they're not treating their men accordingly to the other standards of the other cultures. So maybe as a culture, we should take a look at that. And, you know, ladies, just see what you can see. Maybe we can figure it out, get it together. Because the way you guys have been treating us is simply ridiculous. Yeah, just ridiculous. God bless. Good day.